In this video, we're going over the new best aim assist settings here in Black Ops 6 to drastically improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill. If that sounds good, feel free, drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. Let's get into it. All right, as you can see, I play with an Xbox Elite controller with one paddle on the back, the short paddle, set up for jumping. Now, I'm gonna add, these settings are gonna work no matter what controller you're playing with, and also no matter what console you are playing on. I got you. For the button layout, even though I play with a controller that has a paddle on the back, I always recommend running tactical. Tactical is going to remap your crouch and prone button so you can press down on your right thumbstick to go to a crouch and a prone position, and you can also maintain your aim and accuracy while doing so you can perform a drop shot seamlessly. This is going to allow you to be a lot more deadly at those close and medium ranges, which is going to allow you to get in and out of cover a lot faster and win more gunfights. A massive W. Make this switch. Now, what I also recommend you doing is adjusting your horizontal stick sensitivity as well as your vertical stick sensitivity. This is going to be very important if you are trying to improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill at those medium to longer ranges, because that's where a lot of players are going to fall short. Playing on the 1.4 to 1.6 sensitivity window is going to allow you to essentially maintain your aim and accuracy at range, but still have enough movement to turn on players at those closer ranges if you enjoy running and gunning, which I think a lot of us do. The 1.6, 1.4, that's going to be equivalent to roughly a 4 to a 6 sensitivity, and it's going to be perfect. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that I need to play on sensitivity that is upwards of 8, 9, and 10. That is not true. This is going to be fast enough for you to do all your actions, but most importantly, you're going to be more accurate downrange, and that's going to be crucial in a Call of Duty game that is going to be rewarding, hitting chest and headshots. Now, everything else here is going to be the same, except that I do actually have controller vibration turned off. The reason I have vibration shut off is I don't want to have any unnecessary rumble in my controller that could potentially throw off my aim and accuracy at longer ranges. And again, in Black Ops 6, that is going to be very important, especially if you are struggling with those medium to long range engagements. Now, finally, for the dead zone settings, these are my dead zone settings, but in all reality, dead zone is going to be dependent on your own controller health and if you have stick drift. Luckily, with the Xbox Elite controllers, there isn't too much stick drift, so my dead zone settings are going to be very different from yours. And by the way, if you need help leveling up your weapons, U4GM has you covered. They offer services such as max leveling all of your weapons, as well as unlocking camo challenges all the way up to dark matter. They even have COD points gift packs that you can give to your friends. So for cheap, reliable, and fast Black Ops 6 services on all platforms, use code EARS to save 5% off. Link is at the top of the description. For the aiming, we are going to be taking a look at the sensitivity multiplier. This is going to be very important that you adjust this when actually fine-tuning your sensitivity settings. Now, what you want to do is go down to the ADS sensitivity multiplier, and you want to adjust this to 0.7. You also want to adjust the focusing to 0.7 as well. Now, if you guys are playing on a 1.6, this is going to be perfect. If you guys are playing on a 1.4, I recommend going ahead and putting this at 0.75. This is going to allow you to have less stick play in your right thumbstick. So essentially, when you are aiming down sight at longer ranges, you can stay on target while still using a higher sensitivity. This is going to be perfect, especially if you are struggling winning those gunfights at medium longer ranges. This is going to be something you're going to change and immediately see an improvement in your gameplay, and that is what I call a massive W. For the aiming advanced settings, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at look inversion, and the only thing I do recommend going ahead and making an adjustment is adjusting your ADS sensitivity transition timing. Make sure this is on instant. Sometimes when you do go ahead and boot up Black Ops 6, it's going to be on gradual. You absolutely do not want that to happen. Now, what we're also going to be doing is taking a look at the aim response curve type. This is going to be personal preference in all reality, but the reason I go ahead and play on standard is because at a moment's notice, they can go ahead and adjust how the aim assist works here in Black Ops 6. They already adjusted the aim assist in Black Ops 6 before the game even released, allowing it to gradually increase as the players get further away. Close range, there really isn't that much aim assist. When there's smoke in the map, there's not that much aim assist whatsoever. And at longer ranges, it's going to be scaled to help out players obviously hit their shots if they are playing with a controller. Now, standard is going to keep everything streamlined across the board from Call of Duty game to Call of Duty game for the most part. And there isn't a risk of you having to load up the game and, you know, downloading a new update and then everything being changed, which honestly has happened before. It happened in MW3, and that's exactly why here in Black Ops 6, after it happened before the game actually came out, I always recommend playing on standard. Everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. I've not made any other adjustments, and obviously for your motion sensor behavior, this is all going to be turned off as well. And for the motion sensor settings here, these are all going to be, you know, the same as well. Now for your movement settings, I do have on tactical sprint assist enabled. The reason I go ahead and keep tactical sprint assist enabled is so I can get around the map a lot faster. It's one less button to press and obviously less stress and strain on your controller. Now your sprint assist delay, make sure this is set to 0. This absolutely must be set to 0, or there is going to be a delay when you are trying to go ahead and sprint, which is going to be unbelievably annoying. So if you are feeling that everything is desynced when you're trying to run around the map, make sure this is actually set to 0, because if it's not, you're going to have some issues when the game is first loaded up. This is actually not set to 0 for whatever reason, so make sure you guys go ahead and make this adjustment. Everything else here is going to be the same, except that I do have my slide dive behavior set to hybrid. The only reason I have this set to hybrid is so I'm not doing any unnecessary movements with, you know, the omni movement. I don't want to be dolphin diving when I don't want to actually dolphin dive. I do not want to be sliding around when I don't want to be sliding around. This is overall going to make my character a lot more rigid, which in all reality is what I prefer. So if you find yourself accidentally doing movements when you don't want to do movements, go ahead and put this on hybrid. It's going to stiffen everything up and overall give you more control, which in my personal opinion is definitely something you want to have done here in Black Ops 6. Everything else here is going to be the same. I've not went ahead and made any other adjustments under the movement settings. And for combat as well, the only thing I did go ahead and adjust is I have the C4 detonation set to 1x1, so I do not actually have to throw both of them to blow them up if I decide to use the C4. But everything else here is going to be the same. I've not made any other adjustments under the combat settings tab. Now for the graphic settings, you absolutely want to adjust your field of view. I always recommend playing on the 100 to 120 FOV range. Not only are you going to be getting a bigger picture, but when you go ahead and couple this with the ADS field of view set to affected, it's going to mirror whatever iron sight or optic you have equipped, and it's going to allow you to have less visual recoil, which is going to make long range gunfights incredibly easy to win. This is going to be another setting here in Black Ops 6 that you're going to adjust and see an immediate improvement to your gameplay, which I like to call a massive W. So definitely go ahead and make this adjustment. Everything else here is going to be the same. The only thing I do recommend changing is turning off world motion blur, weapon motion blur, and adjust your first person camera movement to 50% so there's less shake when an explosion goes off, because hey man, in all reality, explosives go off like crazy here in Black Ops 6. Grenades, Simtexes, smoke grenades. You definitely don't want your screen shaking all over the place. So make sure you guys go ahead and make that adjustment. And I do actually have on my inverted flashbang turned on because, well, the flashbangs are quite annoying here in multiplayer. Now for the audio settings, they don't call me ears for nothing. Audio settings are definitely important here in multiplayer and obviously Warzone as well. For your master game volume, set this to 100%. I have my gameplay music turned down to 30 because it is jamming here in multiplayer. That's why you don't hear it so loud right now. It sounds good, but sometimes it can be overbearing. And if you guys have a headset, an Astro 840 TR or any headset that you've purchased in the last 7 years, I have Astro 840 TRs. They're dinosaur grade headsets. They still work great. I do recommend playing on headphones based boost, which is going to amplify footsteps and gunfire so you can hear enemies a lot easier and pinpoint where they are on the map without actually having to use a UAV, which is going to be incredibly important when you are trying to get behind their spawn and build up a quick and easy streak. Give this a go if you do have a headset, and honestly, if you have a surround sound stereo system, headphone bass boost ironically is still good because it's still going to go ahead and amplify footsteps and gunfight audio. So definitely go ahead and give this a try. Now everything else here is going to be the same. The only other setting that I did adjust is under my voice chat, and I do actually have push to talk enabled. The reason I go ahead and have push to talk enabled is because, well, I make videos. Imagine what would happen if I had an open mic making videos in a lobby. It would be cooked, ladies and gentlemen. So out of respect, I go ahead and have this set to push to talk. And finally, for the interface settings, the only thing I have adjusted is I've switched my mini map shape from round to square. Not only is square going to give you a bigger mini map picture versus round, it's also going to be a lot easier to read and interpret, so you can figure out where people are at on the map based off red dots and where your teammates are and obviously are not as well. If you do want a video on the channel explaining how you can read and interpret the mini map using the square configuration, let me know down in the comment section. Everything else under the interface settings are going to be the same. I've not made any other adjustments whatsoever. These are going to be the absolute best settings to use here in Black Ops 6 if you are truly trying to improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill. Give that 1.4 to 1.6 sensitivity setting window a try, especially if you are struggling with those medium to longer range gunfights. If this video does help you guys out, let me know down in the comment section. And as always, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, been your boy Ears, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.